Jack Ma, the builder of Alibaba and once China's richest man, didn't become a force to be reckoned with only after Alibaba took off. His transformation happened much earlier. It was his first internet venture that taught him the true cost of failure. Not money, not reputation, but control. From that moment on, he refused to build anything he could lose from the inside. Before any of that, he had already built a strange advantage. He failed exams repeatedly. He failed the national entrance exam twice. He was rejected by around 30 jobs, including KFC, where he was the only applicant turned away. So by the time he saw the internet in Seattle in 1995, he was not walking in with elite credentials. He was walking in with a high tolerance for rejection. Then came the moment that changed everything. He searched China and beer online and found foreign results, but almost nothing from China. That looked small. It wasn't. He saw that in the emerging digital economy, if you could not be found, you practically did not exist. So he built an ugly website for his translation business. Within hours, emails started coming in. That was enough. Back in Hangzhou, he started China pages with 20,000 RMB, using savings and money borrowed from his sister. But this was not a clean tech startup. Local internet access was barely there. He had to collect company information manually, translate it into English, and physically send it to Seattle for hosting. Sometimes he spent more time explaining what the internet was than selling the product itself. And this is where most people tell the wrong story. They treat China pages like a primitive draft of Alibaba. It was more important than that. It was the first place Jack Ma discovered the real bottleneck in business. Visibility mattered. Trust mattered. Infrastructure mattered. But above all, control mattered. Because when China pages started to gain traction, it was pushed into a joint venture with Hangzhou Telecom. The state partner put in 1.4 million yuan, took 70% and got 5 board seats. Jack Ma's side had 30% and 2 seats. For 5 or 6 straight board meetings, his proposals were rejected. The company was not dying because there was no demand. It reportedly reached about $800,000 in revenue within 3 years. It was dying because the founder no longer had the power to direct it. That is a brutal lesson, and it scales far beyond billion-dollar founders. A lot of people think failure means the market said no. Sometimes the market says yes, and you still lose because you gave away the position that lets you execute. After leaving China pages, Jack Ma did something that looks quiet but was structurally huge. He went into government-linked work at MOFTEC and CIECC, helping build official trade websites. That sounds like a detour. It wasn't. He was studying the rails of Chinese commerce from the inside. He saw that small exporters did not just need listings. They needed systems for trust, transaction, and movement. So when Alibaba arrived in 1999, it was not just a second startup. It was a corrected architecture. He built with 18 co-founders instead of handing control to one dominant outside force. He looked to foreign capital as a buffer against domestic state control. He moved from a directory model to an ecosystem model. Later, that logic would show up in trust systems, payments, logistics, and the willingness to make key services free in order to win the network first. This is the model. First, identify the friction nobody else respects. Second, survive the temptation to trade long-term control for short-term relief. Third, come back with a structure that fixes the first failure at the root, not just at the surface. That is why this story matters. Jack Ma did not simply return. He returned with a different theory of power. China pages taught him that being early is not enough, being right is not enough, and even getting revenue is not enough if the system can still route around you. And that is the bridge to Lisa Su. Different industry, different battlefield, but the same deeper question. When a system is broken, how do you rebuild capability, regain position, and come back stronger than the version that failed?